Good morning. We were at 1 Thessalonians 4 in the middle of the chapter. Remember yesterday we talked about holiness, growing in that holiness, and Paul specifically applied that to sexual immorality. Today he talks about the larger concept of holiness. And remember, love and holiness go together. We've shown that from chapter 3 into 4. And today he brings up the term brotherly love, which in Greek is the term Philadelphia. The city of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania was named that because of William Penn's view of brotherly love. Anyways, that's another lecture. So let's start in 4:9. Now, concerning brotherly love, you have no need for anyone to write to you, for you yourselves have been taught by God to love one another. For that indeed is what you are doing to all the brothers throughout Macedonia. But we urge you, brothers, to do this more and more. So let's stop there for now. It's in the middle of the sentence, but we'll stop there. Brotherly love. Brotherly love is a concept of Philadelphia, is the idea of family love. A love that takes place within a community of family. And in this case, we aren't blood family, but we are brothers and sisters in Christ. And so the idea of brotherly love. And the Thessalonians were very good at it, evidently. In fact, they were known for it in Macedonia. Thessalonica is a city in Macedonia. It's like maybe, Incline Village is a city within Washoe County, something like that. Thessalonica is the city, Macedonia is the region or the country. Their reputation for loving each other and people outside Thessalonica is well known. They are people who love their brothers and sisters in Christ. What a thing to be known for. What are we known for? A thought, think about. But we urge you, brothers, to do this more and more. We can always grow. We can always grow in loving one another. And Paul says this, and to aspire to live quietly. 3 things he says. To live quietly, to mind your own affairs, and to work with your hands as we instructed you. I think this is great advice for us today in this lockdown. I just got off Facebook for a while. It's like I got discouraged and even disgusted with some of the stuff on there. And this passage came to mind, actually, that we are to aspire to live quietly, not be busybodies. In fact, to live quietly, and it says to mind your own affairs. Those 2 things are 2 sides to the same coin. Lead a quiet life, and Paul says that a couple of times in his writings, and mind your own business. That I think sometimes we think we can solve other people's problems, and we know better than other people. Well, you know what? We have enough problems of our own. If we're invited in, we should help. But otherwise, we need to mind our own affairs and live a quiet life. But then it says, I lost my place, and to work with your hands as we instructed you. Another thing today, it's interesting in this coronavirus and the government aid that's come out, people are getting unemployment plus a lot more. And that's great. That's great. If you've lost your job and getting that, you should. And I know some of you are frustrated because you lost your job and you've applied and it's been 4-6 weeks now and you've got nothing. But I also know some people who don't want to go back to work because they're making more with this special unemployment than they would otherwise. God created us to be workers. God created us to be doers. God is a worker. God is a doer. He created us to be like him. So we need to earn our own way. We need to live a quiet life, mind our own business, and work with our hands and provide for ourselves. And Paul gives the reason why. He says, so that you may walk properly before outsiders and be dependent on no one. People who don't know Jesus are watching us. And some are interested in Jesus and want to know what that life is like. So they're observing our behavior and our hope and our conduct. Others are just looking for something to blame us for. And they're going to find things because we're not perfect. But let's not give them fodder. Let's not give them things to be critical of. And we work with our own hands. We live a quiet life. We mind our own business so that outsiders can't bring a charge against us where they say, I don't want your Jesus. Look how you live. Remember that. We're always being watched. Everything we say, everything we do represents our Christ. So keep that in mind. We are being watched, and our job is to live a life that outsiders go, I want their Jesus. Not, why would I want their Jesus? Look at their life. So, brotherly love, live a quiet life, mind your own business, work with your hands, because you are being watched. And lastly, that you are dependent on no one except God. So we'll talk tomorrow with the fourth time the fourth time Paul talks about the second coming of Jesus Christ.